Wagner.
We find ourselves punished by the way the governor counts, and it's putting his thumb on the scale. We should
make an adjustment for testing more people than the statewide average. John Baird, KNX 1070 News Radio.
So yes, Knott's moving into the least restrictive tier. Disappointing, but another Orange County supervisor says, hold on, yellow is just around the corner. Supervisor Lisa Bartlett tells KNX OC residents, businesses should hang on, stay hopeful. She says things are already looking up.
I had a virtual job fair, and it was probably the most successful. We had 4,000 job openings, and we had thousands and thousands of applicants, and a number of folks were able to get interviews right online, submit resumes, and get a job offer. So the economy is definitely opening up. Businesses are looking forward to hiring again, and I see a really bright future for our county.
Orange County is shifting into a more focused vaccination efforts. Mobile clinics, the supervisor hopes some more people being immunized against COVID should mean the county moves to the yellow tier in the next few weeks.
One of the most famous comedy clubs in the world is officially opening back up in Hollywood tomorrow. The Laugh Factory has been shut down for more than a year because of the pandemic, but people can now buy tickets for shows this weekend. Comedian Alonzo Bowden tells KNX he's looking forward to being on stage again.
Well, the energy's fantastic. For me, it's the creativity. There's a creative energy when you have a crowd in front of you because you're in the moment.
He says he hopes to see a lively crowd, even if the club can't be packed.
Come out, be safe. If you're an anti-mask crazy, maybe give it a few weeks and let us have a good time. But
the other big comedy club in Hollywood, the Comedy Store, now open also.
Mother's Day around the corner. We've got a flower shortage.
People's eyes are going wide when they see some of the prices. Bob Milano runs Milano Flowers, a third-generation company, and he says bad weather had an impact on floral imports from South America. Add on COVID-19 restrictions, and you're not getting the deliveries to the U.S. Growers like himself in California face a different problem, a lack of labor. It's caused by the pandemic and government economic response in the form of stimulus checks and unemployment payments.
The workforce makes more money staying at home than working. Although there's plenty of jobs out there to work, people are rather just stay at home and not get paid to work.
While he's shipping out flowers to retailers, they often don't have staff available to prepare bouquets and work the counters. They'll be selling less product and charging anywhere from 20 to 30% more than last year as a result. At the LA Flower Mart, Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The president says everyone's benefiting from the American Rescue Plan except restaurants. Details 2 minutes away after traffic is 4:35.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Denise Fondo.
74 shut down. That's Ortega Highway. We've got a fire off of Ortega Highway that started near the candy store, and it is closed in both directions. The eastbound side at Antonio Parkway, westbound side out of Lake Elsinore. So everybody taking the 91 to make it over to the 15. So that is definitely putting a lot of pressure on that traffic headed east on the 91. I also had a call from one of our tipsters about the slow drive on that 110. And on the Harbor Freeway northbound before Carson, we had a pretty bad injury crash. Crews were on scene with that one. And I see traffic backed up from about Pacific Coast Highway. I believe it's been cleared from the lanes, so they were probably running a break in traffic northbound. The southbound side, you're jammed right from the 91 as you make your way down toward that crash. Let's go to Scott. He is flying over the 5 in Orange County between Tustin and Irvine. Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
Yeah, beginning to get some slowing here on the northbound side of the 5. Looks like from right around Sand Canyon, a little north of the Y there, as you work your way up toward the 55. Some reduced speeds mostly in the right lane in Santa Ana. But looks like you do get some significant improvement. Once you cross the 55, southbound side of the 5, a bit of slowing there. Looks like right around Lake Forest, just some reduced speeds down to about Alicia Parkway, Denise.
On the 5 southbound past Western, you're dealing with a lot of slowing there. The reason we've got a crash with a pickup truck and a car, and it looks like the person who was in this crash must have lived nearby because their family members showed up. So you've got about 7 cars at the scene, not all involved in the crash. Again, 5 southbound, just south of Western, so tough as you make your way out of Burbank and head toward the 5134. Next report at 4:45 with more reports more often. I'm Denise Fondo in the Toyota of Glendora.com Traffic Center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
60s and 70s by the beaches, 80s, some low 90s inland. More of a breeze tomorrow. Sea breeze cooling on the way, so lots of 70s and 80s. We'll keep it going into Friday. Take you past that 5-day forecast. 445, 73 in downtown LA, Fullerton, 79. In Riverside now, 88 degrees.
It's 4:37. President Biden says many sectors of the U.S. economy are benefiting from his $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, but one is still suffering: the restaurant industry. The president says there's a new federal grant program aimed at helping restaurants with no more than 20 locations.
We started accepting applications on Monday. Today's Wednesday. We made it quick and easy to apply. Within the first 2 days, there were 186,200 applications from all 50 states for help.
The president says the new financial aid program will start by helping those businesses that have been unable to get help from the Paycheck Protection Program. Before going before the cameras and microphones, Mr. Biden said he made a Cinco de Mayo enchilada and taco run to a D.C. taqueria, where the owner told him he had benefited from the PPP.
A lot of poor countries, they can't afford the current COVID vaccines, so the administration backing the waiving of drug company patent rights. That would allow generic versions to be made.
And that's a big deal. So far, richer countries have a far, far higher rate of vaccination than poorer ones do. By allowing companies in some of those countries access to the secret sauce of the current COVID vaccines, it's hoped a lot more people will be vaccinated. But there are problems with this.
The production of a vaccine actually takes place in many stages across different parts of the world.
Monica DeBole at the Peterson Institute for International Economics.
And therefore, if there is one country, for example, that is not exporting enough of a particular input that goes into a vaccine, like a chemical reagent or something of that nature, you would still have a problem with vaccine production, regardless of the patent situation.
Now, it's not clear how much of a fight, if any, the big drug companies now making COVID vaccines will fight the waiving of their patent rights. Charles Feldman, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Outbreaks of COVID being reported at the intake centers for migrant children at the Fairplex in Pomona and the Long Beach Convention Center. In Long Beach, about 4 dozen kids have tested positive for the virus. Federal health officials say they're all in isolation and are receiving on-site medical care. In Pomona, 14 children have tested positive, but a total of 67 are in isolation because officials at the intake center wanted to make sure that siblings were kept together.
Under pressure from her party's leadership for supporting the impeachment of President Trump, Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney pushed back in a big way. There's this op-ed in the Washington Post. The conference chair, highest-ranking Republican woman in Congress, Cheney says her party's at a turning point. Republicans need to decide whether they're going to choose truth and fidelity to the Constitution. She criticized Mr. Trump for his ongoing claims that Joe Biden is an illegitimate president, saying that's the type of rhetoric that fueled the riots at the Capitol. Kevin McCarthy, House Minority Leader, has been the most vocal critic of Cheney and has hinted she might be removed from that leadership role.
Checking the busy roads again at 4:45 with our eye in the sky over the 5 in Orange County. Also, we'll be checking the drive out in Irvine. That's all coming up in less than 4 minutes. It's 4:41.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
Wow. So sudden. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage so we don't have to worry about it conversation.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned down for any health reason. Options start at just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day.
Take the first easy step and don't wait. Learn more by visiting us at colonialpenn.com now. Colonialpenn.com. That's colonialpenn.com. Limited benefit first 2 years. Ages vary in some states. Plan is underwritten by Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company.
It's Jane, and my favorite part about a KiwiCo crate coming to the door is you instantly have a project you can do with your kids that doesn't involve a screen. I've done everything from painting to making handmade soap. They have robotics, innovative science and art projects for any age and interest, delivered monthly to your doorstep and making STEAM seriously fun. Get to kiwico.com/radio today to save 40% on your first month. That's KIWICO.com/radio.
Frontier Fiber Optic Internet for Business knows we've all got a job to do, and ours is helping you do yours. From online order to brick and mortar, our 100% fiber optic network is ready for work with blazing fast upload and download speeds and a 2-year price guarantee with no contract. All for just $55.99 per month plus tax and the routers included. Visit fiberopticbusiness.com for complete offer details. Frontier Fiber Optic for Business. How business gets to work. Limited time offer. Services subject to availability and all applicable terms and conditions. AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
You'll never miss a deal on groceries at Stater Brothers if you check out our weekly ad online. And you can do that anytime. And while you're on our website, sign up for digital deals. You'll save even more cash throughout the store. Stater Brothers Markets. Never miss a deal.
If there's a sudden disaster and you can't get to the grocery store, or they're all out of food, what would you do? You'll wish you had emergency food to get you through the crisis. And that's why we're here. We're MyPatriotSupply.com. America's leading source of emergency food. Our food lasts for up to 25 years, and millions of families trust us for their disaster survival. Won't you join us? Unlike other food companies, we don't skimp on calories. Our meals give you more than 2,000 calories per day. Why? Because that's what you need to survive any challenging crisis. And right now,
these days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-919-2129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
So fire crews got there very quickly. They shut down the lanes of the 74, and we've got Scott over the scene now in the Southern California Toyota dealers. Sky 3.
This is in the vicinity of the candy store where this fire broke out right in the middle of the Cleveland National Forest here. The fire is pretty much out at this point. I see one tiny little smoldering hillside, but it looks like the helicopter and the tanker that's here, I believe that's California Department of Forestry, have pretty much extinguished it. However, Ortega Highway, the 74, essentially shut down between Mission Viejo and Lake Elsinore. The eastbound side at Antonio Parkway, the closure there, and westbound basically right out of Lake Elsinore. Don't use it. There are some people stuck down here, some residents able to get through, but definitely the area to avoid. Now, we did see the 5. Northbound 5, you're going to get slowing into Irvine there around Sand Canyon, heading up toward the 55 into Tustin. And southbound 5, expect a little bit of slowing as well, starting around Lake Forest down toward Alicia Parkway, Denise.
And we've got 2 problems on the 10. Pomona 10 westbound east of town, there's a crash. And there's also one in Claremont on the 10 eastbound a little bit before the Indian Hill exit. Did you know the Auto Club offers competitive rates on auto insurance? You can go to AAA.com/insurance for a free quote today. Find out how much you could save. Insurance through the Auto Club. Visit AAA.com/insurance today. Next report, 4:55. With more reports more often, I'm Denise Fondo in the Toyota of Glendora.com Traffic Center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Look for a hot day away from the coast as highs top out in the low 90s in the valleys, Inland Empire, and High Desert, while temperatures along the coast will be on the cooler side in the upper 60s and low 80s can be felt in LA and Orange County Metro. Warming peaks today, then onshore flow strengthens tonight through the weekend, and temperatures will cool by a few degrees with low clouds and fog spreading along the coast and into the valleys each night and morning. Mother's Day Sunday will be dry with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecasts, I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Alex Biston for KNX 1070 News Radio.
95 in Woodland Hills, 77 in Long Beach, and in Fullerton, 79 degrees.
It's 4:47. Overseas, a jury has found 2 friends from the Bay Area guilty in the stabbing death of a police officer in Italy. They were given life in prison, Italy's stiffest sentence. Prosecutors in Rome say the officer was killed during a botched small-time drug deal when the 2 Americans thought they had been ripped off. The two men, who are 19 and 20 years of age, are former high school classmates from Mill Valley, north of San Francisco.
Irvine man under arrest now, charged with killing his wife inside a home in an upscale gated community.
The arrest happened after Irvine police received disturbing news from an Orange County probation officer around 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon.
They had received a call from one of their probationers indicating that he had killed his wife and would be waiting for the police at his residence.
Irvine Police Sergeant Kerry Davies.
We sent multiple officers in our normal emergency response fashion, and once we arrived at the home, we located the probationer and another male inside, as well as a deceased female.
Sergeant Davies says the other man rented a room in the house. He was also taken in for questioning, but was later released. Chris Sedens, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We could see a sharp decline in COVID cases nationwide by midsummer, but CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says that depends on how many people get vaccinated.
Although we are seeing progress in terms of decreased cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, variants are a wild card that could reverse this progress we have made and could set us back.
Dr. Walensky says that now much of the CDC's efforts are focused on the vaccine hesitancy.
Survey shows the pandemic has hit young adults harder than their parents in a lot of ways. Creditcards.com finds nearly half of parents have given their adult children money over the past year. Senior financial industry analyst Ted Rossman with Creditcards.com tells KNX the average was more than $4,000.
And they're using the money for very practical things. So it does show that this is more of a necessity. We found that food and housing were the two biggest categories that these adult children are using the money for.
He says a vast majority of parents giving money that would have gone towards their own personal finances. He says if you want to help your kids with money, call it a gift rather than a loan, so there are no future conflicts.
A temporary coronavirus moratorium on evictions in San Diego County will continue. The measure prohibits residential evictions without just cause and enacts a moratorium on certain rent increases. It will expire 60 days after the state lifts all COVID-related stay-at-home orders, which is set to happen June 15th.
450, your money. Here's Larry Kofsky.
It was a mostly higher day for stocks, though a late pullback erased some of the market's gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 97, the S&P 500 rose 3, the Nasdaq fell 51. Moderna fell 6% after the Biden administration said it supports a waiver of COVID-19 vaccine patent protections. The waiver would help boost production of the shots. Pfizer was little changed. With the economy rebounding from its pandemic slump, apartment rents are soaring. Government figures show the median rent increase for a vacant unit was up $185 in March versus last year. ApartmentList.com says rents rose nearly 2% in April. Lumber prices continue to soar amid insatiable demand from home builders and remodelers. Lumber futures hit another record high today. The price of wood has raised the price of an average single-family home by nearly $36,000 in the last year. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kofsky from the HMS Capital Money Desk, KNX 1070 News Radio.
People are going to court to try to keep a South LA grocery store open. More in 90 seconds. It's 4:51.
The new sound of mealtime. The Farmer's Dog is real food, made fresh and delivered right to your door. No extreme processing, no preservatives, just fresh meat and fresh veggies you can see and hear right in the bowl. Make that processed kibble crunch a thing of the past and switch to a fresh diet from the Farmer's Dog. Go to thefarmersdog.com/healthy to save 50% on your first box with free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com/healthy to save 50% with free shipping. thefarmersdog.com/healthy.
Frustrated on the freeway?
Caught in a crush?
You need traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 5s.
The transition from the Garden Grove Freeway to the 57 is backed way up.
KNX tells you where the problems are and how to get around them.
Get off the freeway at Harbor and go north on Chapman.
Helping you get there sooner, wherever you're going, now that traffic is back.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
Curate your news, your music, and your car insurance choices. With the Zebra, you can start comparing side-by-side quotes from the top insurance companies in only 90 seconds. Get unbiased, independent advice to help you pick the right car insurance for your unique needs, so you can start saving up to $670 a year. Just visit thezebra.com/Odyssey, answer a few quick questions, and start saving today, so you can get back to curating what really matters to you, your collection of 80s yacht rock.
We could all use a little extra hope. CalHope offers free tips and tools to help manage COVID-19 stress and anxiety. Call our warm line at 1-833-317-4673. Hope lives in California, in our businesses, schools and homes, our people, friends and fellow veterans, and in our shared hope for the future, one where we can all safely come together again. Visit calhope.org or call 1-833-317-4673. Hope lives here.
Checking the bad drives in about 2 minutes with our eye in the sky over that fire closure on Ortega Highway that's near the candy store. It's 4:53.
Community, labor, civil rights groups are going to courts in an attempt to block Kroger from closing a grocery store in South L.A.
As it stands, the plan is to shutter the Ralphs located at West Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard on May 15th. It's one of 3 supermarkets that Kroger said it will shut down in Los Angeles. The company's announcement followed passage of a city ordinance requiring big grocery retailers to temporarily pay workers an additional $5 an hour in hazard pay during the pandemic. Kroger called the stores underperforming. John Parker is with the Harriet Tubman Center for Social Justice.
We really feel like this is ridiculous, and someone needs to answer Kroger and tell them that they have to be responsive to the community and not try to create food deserts and exacerbate problems that already exist, especially in Black and brown communities.
Right now, he says they are only seeking an injunction against Kroger regarding the Ralph's store in South Central. Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We reached out to Kroger. So far, no response.
Stanford University has new research that can help predict when pregnant women will go into labor, and it's all based on a blood sample.
Researchers found changes in the blood of healthy pregnant women that could lead to a test in a couple of years to predict when labor will start. Women's bodies begin to prepare for delivery about 3 weeks before labor begins. After looking at more than 7,100 metabolic, protein, and immune factors in blood samples from pregnant women, researchers found changes in levels of steroid hormones, factors that control the growth of blood vessels and blood coagulation, as well as immune regulatory signals. That means a clinical blood test could more accurately predict how close healthy pregnant women are to delivery. Allison Keys, CBS News.
So you're at LAX, you're waiting for your flights, you're hungry, but you want something that's from another terminal, one of the restaurants there. You can order it. There's like a mobile app now, laxordernow.com. It's only for Tom Bradley right now, so the international terminal, but they say they're going to expand it, and you can get food from all over the airport.
A California appeals court upholds Governor Gavin Newsom's use of emergency powers. We'll have more coming up at 5:03 after CBS News. It's 4:55.
Brought to you by Caliber Garage Doors. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Denise Fondo.
We've got a brush fire off of Ortega Highway today, and that closes a good portion of the 74. Scott's there in the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
And they're going to be out there throughout the evening mopping up. The good news is the fire pretty much extinguished, but they're still laying some of the fire retardant down with an aircraft. They got a helicopter out there. No structures threatened or anything like that, but Ortega Highway shut down on the eastbound side out of San Juan Capistrano trying to run around Antonio Parkway, and westbound. It looks to be shut down right around the candy store. So definitely a backup eastbound right around the 5. And then further along as you get up to where the actual fire is in the Cleveland National Forest, there's going to be a backup there of about a mile. Looks like some residents are allowed through the area, as well as some people that were working in the area are allowed to basically get out of the situation and evacuate the area, Denise.
Torrance 405 North, Crenshaw off-ramp, 3-car crash there. Also in Whittier on the 605 northbound just south of Beverly. We've got a new wreck reported on the 10 eastbound side. Coming up on Azusa Avenue, we've got a new problem here, and it looks like we've got a stalled bus, which is on the eastbound Azusa off-ramp. Make Caliber Garage Doors your number one choice for new garage doors. Right now, $200 off and as low as $599 installed, including free bottom seals in Holloway. Caliber Garage Doors will beat any advertised price. Hundreds to choose from at CaliberGarageDoors.com. CaliberGarageDoors.com. Next report, 5:05. With more reports more often, I'm Denise Fondo in the Toyota of Glendora.com Traffic Center. KNX 1070 News Radio.
For tomorrow, not as warm as today. We're going to start the cool down, drop in 5 degrees, some spots. And as we go into Friday, we will shave off a little bit more.
Pasadena and Long Beach both entered the yellow tier today, but Orange County staying put in the orange for now. More at the top of the hour after CBS News. It's 4:57.
A brand new 2021 Audi A7 is up for grabs every Thursday in May at San Manuel Casino. Your chance to win a luxury ride on us happens hourly from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. each week. Earn entries by using your Club Serrano card each time you play, and you could drive away in style. Don't forget to stay late for our free play bonus drawing at 10 p.m. for another chance to win big. Thrilling rides and jackpots only at San Manuel Casino. Details at sanmanuel.com. Must be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey everyone, it's Laura for Proven Winners. It's time to get out in the garden and plant. Have you started yet? When you're ready to fill your patio planters and aquapots, remember it's Proven Winners flowers in the white pot that really go the distance and flourish from spring all the way into fall. They are my go-to source for all my container plants, and don't forget their amazing hydrangeas, roses, perennials, and edibles too. Proven Winners has everything you need to grow a gorgeous garden this season. Visit your local garden center to get started today.
Frontier Fiber Optic Internet for Business knows we've all got a job to do, and ours is helping you do yours. From online order to brick and mortar, our 100% fiber optic network is ready for work with blazing fast upload and download speeds and a 2-year price guarantee with no contract. Offer just $55.99 per month plus tax, and the router's included. Visit fiberopticbusiness.com for complete offer details. Frontier Fiber Optic for Business. How business gets to work. Limited time offer. Services subject to availability and all applicable terms and conditions.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
The news you need from the station you trust.
Live from the DuckDuckGo studios.
Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station.
KNX KRTH FM HD2 Los Angeles.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
An Odyssey station.
Coming up, Pasadena, Long Beach entering the yellow tier, loosening more pandemic restrictions.
Orange County will stay stuck in the orange at least for the next couple of weeks.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the 5s. In 3 minutes after CBS covers the world, it's 5 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. The CDC is optimistic about what COVID-19 cases could look like in the U.S. come summer. CBS's Mola Lenghi.
Moderna late today announced that early results from an ongoing clinical trial indicate a booster shot should be protective against variants first identified in South Africa and Brazil when taken in addition to its 2-shot regimen.
The Biden administration says when it comes to COVID vaccines, it will consider sharing some intellectual property so other countries can make their own vaccines. Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerras tells CBS News Radio.
America under President Biden is going to be a partner with the global community to make sure that we try to keep not just Americans healthy, but the world healthy.
House Republicans are looking to oust Liz Cheney from her role as she continues to call out President Trump for lying about election integrity. CBS's Nancy Cordes says Cheney is fighting back.
In that op-ed, she says Republicans need to stand for genuinely conservative principles and steer away from the dangerous and anti-democratic Trump cult of personality. But many of her colleagues believe they're going to need his base and his fundraising ability come 2022.
California is experiencing drought conditions, and that means fire crews are on alert. CBS's Steve Futterman.
As weather conditions here get warmer, officials in California are preparing for what's likely to be another destructive fire season. Cal Fire Chief Tom Porter.
Our biggest concern is boots on the ground, because aircraft don't put fires out. Boots on the ground put fires out.
The most dangerous months are usually from summer through fall, but this spring temperatures have been higher than normal, and some areas are already ripe for wildfires. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Legislation banning abortion at 6 weeks of pregnancy gets the approval of the Texas House of Representatives. KRLD's Chris Fox.
The legislation sponsored by State Representative Shelby Slauson. It would require abortion doctors to first check for a heartbeat.
Upon detection of a heartbeat,
country, the physician is prohibited from knowingly performing or inducing an abortion and can be held civilly liable unless there's a medical emergency.
Democratic State Representative Donna Howard, a former registered nurse, spoke out against the bill.
There have always been abortions and there always will be. What we're talking about here is some specific actions that would be taken to obstruct access to a legal medical procedure.
Chris Fox, for CBS News, Austin.
2 San Francisco women are stabbed at a bus stop amid a wave of attacks on Asians. And U.S. stocks indexes closed mixed as the tech rebound fades. This is CBS News.
Indeed believes less is more. That's why they have powerful tools to help you source, screen, and hire quality people faster. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Karen Adams. Our top local story at 5:03. Pasadena and Long Beach are officially in the yellow tier today.
These two cities each have their own health departments and opted to move to the less restrictive tier a day earlier. These vaccinated Pasadena residents are thrilled.
Very excited.
Now gyms, theaters, and breweries can open at 50% indoor capacity. Bars can reopen at 25% indoor capacity. But many, like Club 54, have already been serving food, so they're going to stick with the restaurant rules, which stay at 50% capacity. Lorenzo Byers works at the dance club.
We have music. We're not trying to encourage people to go out and start dancing and partying it up like if everything's okay. We're going to keep the same guidelines by sitting down, drinking, listening to music, and enjoying yourself.
The manager at Sage Bistro in Old Town said they are glad because they can now have larger groups at a table. Reporting from Pasadena, Emily Valdez, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Well, for months, Orange County seemed to be ahead of the game, ahead of L.A. County when it came to reopening, but L.A. now going to the yellow. Orange County stuck.
Stuck in the coronavirus orange tier, at least for a couple more weeks. That's because the daily case rate remains a little too high. Don Wagner's a county supervisor. He says going yellow would be huge for a company's bottom line.
Because more businesses will be allowed to open, more businesses can bring more folks in. They can get back to normal that much sooner. So it would be a big deal.
He thinks the OC will get to the yellow tier soon, and so does UC Irvine epidemiologist Andrew Neumer, although he points out the tier system probably won't be around